Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I discuss my last week in gaming. And of course, EVE Online, it's been a very busy, exciting week with the launch of my Astrao Citadel, the anchoring, then the fitting, the constant threat of a war deck because I was pretty early on with deploying my Astrao Citadel, but all of that worked out very nicely and the response has been great. A lot of people have come to check out the Citadel. There are people that are actually living there now. They're actively mining. We often do see an Orca that is tethered, that gives boost to the entire Dital system. And so my plan for trying to develop Dital a little bit, which is a stationless system, seems to be working since a second Astrao Citadel has also been deployed there. So the good news is also that there's a lot of corporation offices that have been grabbed inside my Citadel. So I actually think that if I get war decked, I have some allies ready to jump in and help with the defense. But yeah, it's been very busy. My next phase now is going to be to try and upgrade the Citadel a little bit. So I think the next purchase is going to be a clone center so that I could sell. Well, I'm going to make it all free, but so that people can actually put clones there. Cloning service sounds like something that I may want. And then probably I'll want to upgrade to the Tech 2 rig for high-sec reprocessing, because that actually increases the yield by another 2%, which makes it better than reprocessing from a boss. So I think those are my two next goals for the Citadel itself. When it comes to the large Citadel, I'm holding off a little bit because, well, we've seen just from the Astrao Citadels being deployed that they are a massive target. A lot of people do hunt for these, want to destroy them. And so a large Citadel is going to be even harder to defend because you have to be online like every single day. A war deck can actually get on top of a large Citadel probably in a matter of just 3 days. So that's a lot more risky, it's a much bigger investment. So I'm probably going to wait for those to drop significantly back in price, maybe towards the end of the summer or something like that. That's when I'll decide whether or not I actually want to go for an Astrao Citadel. But other than that, yeah, I've been mining a little bit. I've of course been answering to all of the mails, all of the questions, all of the hellos and the congrats in local. So it's been very busy just on the communications front. I've also been trying to work out my blueprint copy business that I'm trying to set up. So at the moment, because everything is so new and people are still rushing to try and create their first citadels and all of that stuff, I'm actually just putting everything that I have straight into the contracts to try and sell them as quickly as possible because prices are very high at the moment. And so I think it makes most sense that whatever is ready, whether it's Astrao's blueprint copies themselves or blueprint copies of the structure components, just trying to sell them as fast as possible at the moment I think makes most sense because once the hype dies down in, let's say, a few weeks to a few months, then of course all of those prices are going to settle down quite heavily. And so at the moment, if you want to make profit on those activities, I think you want to be active there. You want to bring stuff to the trade hubs. You want to keep a close eye on what is still profitable, what is dropping off. For instance, I know that the standard construction parts are dropping off very severely in the blueprint copies market. Those are now just going for like 10 million for a 5-run copy. There are others that are going for 40 million, for instance. So this is something that I'm busy with as well. I'm keeping an eye on that market and try to make as much ISK as I can from the stuff that I'm producing at the moment. And yeah, other than that, I'm also starting to prepare for what comes after the summer, right? Those construction structures where you'll be able to do production and research. I obviously will want to have one very close by next to my Astraos, I think, to provide all of those facilities for Dital as well. So it's looking really good. The reception has been great, and it's been a lot of fun playing in EVE Online in the last week. It's been very active, very busy, and luckily it was a short work week for me, so I could actually stay on top of all of that. I also think that it's going to start to slow down at my job. So I think I'll have a little bit more time to be a bit more active as well during the week when it comes to gaming. So all in all, I would say that we've been able to digest the launch of the Citadel expansion, the busy period at my job and all of that in a pretty good fashion. And it's now going quite nicely. The Citadel is still standing. People are actively using it. People seem to really appreciate the facilities that are made available in Dital. So that they can do their stuff inside a stationless system as well. And from my perspective, this all has been a great success and a lot of fun. Something else that I played is, of course, Diablo 3 Season 6. To my surprise, I started Demon Hunter a week ago and I'm finished. I managed to do the basic part of Season 6, so I've gotten the basic rewards, the first set of rewards, and I did that in like 20 hours or so. So at first I'd read that you only got 2 pieces of a set anymore, but it turns out that as you do more of these parts of the season, for the final chapter, for chapter 4, you actually get a full 6-piece set, which for the Demon Hunter makes it so powerful that you just crush anything up to like a rank 20 Rift, which is basically what you need to be able to finish the entire season. And so it was a breeze, it was quite fun, but yeah, surprisingly short, really a very casual experience. So if you, like me, you don't have that much extra time to put into another game, then something like a new season for Diablo 3 is really great. If of course you're looking for something with a bit more meat on its bone, then yeah, Diablo is probably not the game. I would go for Path of Exile or maybe a completely different new game or something like that. So this was a nice little experience in between, but yeah, just 1 week of playing Diablo 3 almost every evening and finishing that season. Been good fun, but I don't see any real reason to go for the second part of the season. That becomes far more grindy. In fact, it's far more likely that I'll just maybe wait 2-3 weeks and then at the start of next month maybe start another class and go through season 6 with that one or something like that. I think that's the way I am enjoying Diablo 3 at the moment, just my own pace, very casually, but this does allow you to dive back into the game for a week or so, for 20 hours, have some fun with the new season, work on a new character, get that one into what I would consider pretty reasonable position, right? Full legendaries, a full set, and a specific build around that, with then, if you want to, the potential to work on Kanai's Cube, perfect enchantments, perfect gems and all of that stuff. But there is really no need to go through all of that grinding to just enjoy Season 6. It's a very basic and short experience, but for me it was actually quite fun. And another thing that I've played is a little bit of the Overwatch open beta. That's really fun. I'm surprised at how polished this is and how beautiful the game looks. This engine is incredible, the performance is incredible. But I've really not gone all out in Overwatch, right? I'm just looking forward to experiencing this game in also a very paced manner, not making this my primary game or anything like that, so that I can keep maybe covering a few Overwatch matches or classes here and there, just have some fun with the game, get my 60 euros out of it. That's not gonna be a problem, honestly. It's pretty damn complex. You have so many different characters and abilities that the games are constantly different, and there's a lot to learn. Just going over all the different classes is probably going to get you 60-70 hours of gameplay without too much trouble. So I really like Overwatch. I think it's a great game. It's another Blizzard product, so it's very, very polished from my perspective. The engine runs great. It's also matches that last maybe 10-15 minutes, something like that. So it's very doable to play Overwatch in a few short sessions here and there. If you want, you can just dive in, do a couple games on quick play every evening, and then just have that be a bit of a side activity, something extra to do. You don't have to make Overwatch your main game. It also has all the necessary graphical indications of, hey, you get gold medals for doing some kills, doing a lot of damage, absorbing a lot of damage, sticking with the payload for a lot of time, and all of that stuff. You get loot boxes at every level with spray paints, with different skins. There's really a lot to work on in Overwatch as well. So I think that Blizzard has really done a really good job of making a game that has only 10 to 15 minute matches, that is action-packed, extremely fast-paced, to put a lot of stuff in there that's going to increase the longevity of this game. And the major one are, of course, all of the different classes with their unique abilities, but there is also the entire reward system, and then later on hopefully they'll get a replay function, they'll have ladders and all of that good stuff, and then Overwatch is going to, I think, become a pretty fun experience to play through. And keep in mind also, it is Blizzard, so they don't do discounts very often. If you want in on this, it may be a good idea to jump in early on and support the game basically. One thing that I think it's not under threat of is a fracturing of the player base, because Blizzard has already said that there are not going to be map packs, that there are not going to be separate heroes that will be behind a paywall. So Blizzard is planning to keep the entire player base of Overwatch together, playing together during the entire lifetime of this game, which I think is a great asset. Compare that to Doom, compare that to most other multiplayer shooters at the moment. They almost always have map DLCs, complete DLCs that cut off parts of the player base from that new content and things like that, which I really don't like. And Overwatch Blizzard is apparently trying to do the right thing with this game, which is why I'm supporting it, and which is why I'm planning to have my fun with Overwatch. Honestly, my favorite characters here so far, Agent 76, because he's so basic. I think it's someone that pretty much anyone can go after. I also like Torbjorn for the defenses. His turret's pretty fun to put that turret in tricky positions and watch it rack up kills. I also like Zenyatta for some support. And then the tank, the biggest tank there with the big hammer, I can't remember his name right now, with the shield. He is a pivotal character. He's a very important one. There have been several games where we've been in trouble for a long time, but then I decide, all right, we're gonna defend or push that final payload. I'm gonna go with the tank. The team saw that, rallied around me, and he was really the character that pushed the game into our victory at the tail end. So he's an extremely important character that can be very powerful if all of a sudden you bring him into the game at the right time and the enemy is not prepared for that. So yeah, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot of stuff that I still need to check out when it comes to Overwatch, but so far my impressions are very fun game, doable in small stints as well, and extremely polished. Another Blizzard quality game that's coming out later this month. So that looks pretty damn good. What I'm interested in though is still Stellaris. I'm now watching Scott Manley play through the game with his Arctic Foxes. It's not a race I would have chosen personally. I'm not a furry, but this game looks so in-depth, so interesting, but I do think you need a lot of time to be able to spend on Stellaris if you plan to play that game. It's not something you want to do casually. It's something that you need to plan for weeks, if not a few months on end, where you say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna play a Stellaris game. I'm gonna have hours and hours of micromanaging, of encountering problems, of creating that story. I think that's gonna be an amazing experience, but it's also going to be a very time intensive experience. But everything I've seen so far just makes me want to try this game more and more. So it's on my wish list, it's on my watch list, and it may be something that if Overwatch dies down and I don't feel like playing Diablo and EVE Online also slows down a little bit, I may just purchase that and dive into Stellaris. I mean, if that happens, guys, I must warn you, I think that game will completely absorb every free minute that I have, but I do think that would be an incredibly fun experience. And then the final one that I quickly wanted to mention is Battlefield 1. I'm sure most of you guys already saw the trailer. Set in World War One, I think that is very interesting, a very interesting choice. I'm definitely, you're seeing here a pre-order website. I'm definitely not going to pre-order that game, but it's also on my watch list now. It's something that I would need to see reviews on. I would need to see business model on, but the trailer did manage to get me excited to try another Battlefield game. It's been a very long time since I've played Battlefield. I think it's Battlefield 3 or something like that, or Battlefield 2 even, which is the last one that I actively played. But yeah, World War One seems like a really good setting to dive into the Battlefield series once again. So this is a possible. It's of course much longer term. I'm not planning to pre-order, but it's another one that I'll keep my eye on for reviews, for news, for any information about the business model, because that trailer did look pretty damn awesome. So yeah, there you go, guys. When it comes to EVE Online, I think that there's still a lot of work to do, so I'm going to get to it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.